Hello, Ashkan. First one up. Good morning. Prince, good morning. No. It was just clearing my throat. I'm not sick. Arash. Yes, happy Sizde Bedar, Arashyan. Thank you very much. Ashkan, Ashton, Marwa, Spol. Hello, dear. Happy Sizde Bedar to you too, Ashkan Jan. Karim. Hola from Gilbert, Arizona. Is it Karim or it's Karim Ochoa. Good to see you here. Jane, hello dear. Mina, is it pronounced Mina or Mina? Hello dear from Romania. And Eileen, hello Eileen. Hello Z. Faye, hello. Where have you been? It's been a while. Hope you've been well. I hope you all have your tea or coffee or whatever the beverage you like. So in a couple of minutes, when everybody has joined us, we've exchanged greetings. We will have our 1 hour fun on Sunday and explore together matters that could be of concern to you and on your mind. Muhammad, hello dear. Thank you. I'm good. Good to see you here. The first time I said it was correct, Mina. Mina is also a Persian name and it has a beautiful meaning which I'm not exactly clear because there's so many beautiful meanings it has. It has some beauty, clear reflection, name of a flower, freshness, heaven. I think these are the things that I can come up with. So you take your pick and hope that it suits you well. Faye is sick for a while. Why are you sick? Get well soon. Raju, thank you, good to see you. Good. Mina, so do you have any Persian connection or ancestry or just Romanian? I mean, not related to, your name is not because of any Persian in your family. Ashkan, Mina is also a bird. Oh, lovely, wonderful. I didn't know that. Asma, oh, hello from Morocco. Yes, Mina. Most of us don't know how special we are until somebody tells us. And that's the problem, that we always wait for somebody to tell us how special we are rather than actually knowing that every one of us is as special as it can get. And none of us are the same as the other, yet still as special as the next person. So, now, we're open for questions and what's on your mind. You can always tell me what it is that is concerning you, having to do with your thoughts, consciousness, fears, desires, and ego, how they interact with your life, day-to-day life, and the things that you're trying to negotiate in this journey of life. You can bring it out and we can discuss it. If it has something to do with your relationships or breakups, what you're going through, the hardships, and how you're thinking, how you're feeling, again, those are some of the topics that we'll be discussing here. Ashkan says, it's my first time here. What are you going to talk about? Ashkan, for a long time, this is the 62nd live talk that we have, which about 52 of them has been on amazing things in the world on this Facebook page, which has been facilitated to us by good people of Witty Feed, that they are friends and family of mine. That's how I think of them. Wonderful people, excellent company, progressive and positive and happy people work for that company. And they have facilitated this for us so we can share some thoughts and ideas and help alleviate some of the hardships that we may be going through by these discussions. But now we've been having many lectures on different subjects, on the subjects that I talked to you about. But for the past many weeks now, we are having Q&A, question and answer sessions, depending on what it is that is concerning you, as far as it would have to do with mind and body coordination, thoughts, consciousness, fears, desire, and ego, and relationships and breakups and heartbreaks, and what you're going through and how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're taking it, how you can move on, and so on. Questions like this is what we spend our time on Saturdays on the amazing things in the world, and on Sundays on the amazing things in the world, and on Saturdays, which was yesterday, on my own Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, which the link is up there. You can always go to my page and click like, so you'll also be in contact to know where the events are, if the live talks are coming on, streamlines on YouTube channel. And on YouTube channel you will find over 440 or 50 at the time, and increasing, videos on the subjects that I just talked about, and you can get help there for whatever that might be on your mind, and you could find an answer to those questions. Now, having said all that, introducing the what we do here, now we're looking for questions. And Muhammad is turning our channel into a dating site. It's now. Okay, now. So we are looking for questions. Raju, I just love this page, but I see you here first time. Oh, really, Raju? I thought you've been here. Muhammad, yes, that's right. Ashkan. Okay. Arthur asks, how can one listen to his intuition clearly? You don't listen to intuition. Intuition is there, and you feel it, and therefore you don't need to listen to it. So that's the short of the long, because it can go really long depending. We can get into the idea of meditation and creating the surface of the mind as the surface of the pond, being very quiet, so the reflection of things would be more clear on it. And intuition needs a calm mind, and to create a calm mind, you need to understand how to bring the ripples of the mind to imperceptible decreasing ripples, in order to create that soft and smooth surface, so even when a bird passing by the smooth surfaced lake, not even quite on the lake, its reflection is clearly shown on the surface of the water. But if the water is choppy and wavy, even if the bird is on top of it, or even if it's the moon reflected on it, it will be choppy, not clear what it is. So in order to be in tune with your intuitions, you must create that clear mind, which means the least amount of waves and ripples on it, which understanding how to spend time with the nature, learning about meditation and relaxation, and become one with the nature, will create that smooth surface of the mind which would reflect things before they actually happen, which could be called, one way of calling what intuition is. Now, Eileen says, I've been single for 6 years. I have needed this time to come to know and love myself. But now what? Now nothing. That's the most important part, to be able to understand yourself, love yourself, to know your psyche, to know how it works, how it ticks, how it functions, how your thoughts and feelings are connected, and to understand your connection with the nature. And these are, in fact, connection with the source of the energy that you come from. By not understanding how we are made and put together, we will not be able to love ourselves. And by trying to be in a relationship and do something, create something, be active, and all these that we do is actually indirect way of trying to get to know yourself, understand yourself. So if you can do that without having to rely on the outside forces and outside opinions of people and reaction and interaction with in relationships and so on, for somebody to tell you that you're good or bad, somebody to affirm you, confirm you, all that affirmation coming from somebody else, if you don't need all that and you can do it all by yourself and understand your connection with the nature, understand how you tick, how you function, what is the psyche about, your fears, desires, ego, and consciousness, thoughts, how they're related to, that is the way you can serve the universe, the nature, your existence, and the others, directly or indirectly, the best way possible. So what you've done, if you have really come to know yourself in that time that you mentioned, it's wonderful. It doesn't need to be felt that it can only be completed if I am in a relationship. What is a relationship? The relationship is when you're not happy, you're trying to be happy through a relationship. That's one way people want relationship. One reason they want relationship. They don't understand why do they want a relationship for, and the reasons are different. And that's why it doesn't work, because everybody's intention for being in a relationship is different than the other person. If they're not in harmony, it never works. If you don't know how your psyche works, your thoughts and consciousness and ego, desire and fear works in relation with your existence and interaction with the nature and with the others and in the relationships, then it wouldn't work. So the fact that you understand, the most important thing is to know about yourself and understand your connection with this nature and what the life is all about, which is about learning, and through you, the segments and the fragments of this whole universe, each one of us being that segment, being that fraction, through what we learn on our wisdom, the universe and nature itself becomes wiser, and so on. So these are what you should be focusing on. Now, if it happens that you gain a good friend and start a relationship with, great. But it's not supposed to be end all be all. So when you say, now what? Well, you've done the hard part. Now what? You're confident, and you walk on the street and wherever you go with confidence of knowing about this machine, how it works, and that confidence itself, that knowledge attracts the others, and perhaps you will also find some good friend that you will enjoy spending time with. So, Irene, Ehsan, good to see you. You just feel it. It's about confidence in yourself. Okay. Now let's see. All right. Now, Irene, it would be good if you stop filling the messages so others can put a message in. Muhammad says, sir, kindly share your mug with us. Muhammad, you're in a goofy mood today, aren't you? You're either here for fun or you want to help us have a good session. Okay. Ashkan says, can too much love make someone go crazy? Yeah, then you end up being obsessed with that person and you lose the vision of living for yourself and you're fully focused on something. It's no different than fully being focused on one thing. So by being focused so much and too much and all the time on that one thing, you will miss any other thing that is going on. You'll miss life. So everything in moderation is good, but too much of anything could usually turn into useless and not a positive thing. Even if it's a food that you like, you eat too much of it, you can't take it anymore. You throw up and you will not like that anymore. And you put too much love and attention to someone, you make that person uncomfortable, you will miss opportunities and other things that you can experience and learn in life. And even if you pay so much attention of care and kindness and warmth and protection and love to your child, the child gets distracted and uncomfortable and needs a space. So yes, it's not good. Moderation. All right, we're looking for a question. You're welcome, Eileen. Yes, Raju, after our session, it will be posted and you can have that, and then you can, and it will also be uploaded on YouTube. My friend Goku is here, there, behind me. Faye. Johanna, it says, how can I make him fall in love with me? Just be yourself. If a person cannot fall in love with you as who you are and how you are naturally, normally, well, that, whatever it's going to be, is not going to be a real love anyhow. It's going to be some infatuation and some, possible encouragement for intimacy or getting closer, but it's not going to be a real thing. So be yourself, and you want a good connection. A good connection is always when it's true. And to be true, you got to start with yourself. So a compatible person and a good love would be the one that started with you being you, rather than trying so hard to make someone fall in love with you. No. Falling in love is different than a physical interest in each other. Falling in love happens later on, after getting to know each other. The initial interest is intimacy, sexual interest and attraction based on physical appearance or based on hormonal or interest of that you may have. But real love is when the bond takes place on a consciousness level. The contents of consciousness, they try to find things in common and they create a collective and a combine in harmony, a new norm and order through the bonding and understanding each other's consciousness. So just be yourself and enjoy life. Taylor says, I've seen some people go through life and things happen to them that turn them into assholes. How would they combat that? Well, if that person happens to be you, obviously you have recognized it and you're safely going to change that and to continue being who you are, which seems to be a person of understanding and wisdom, to know what he should or should not be engaged in. And there are things that can happen to people that they could turn them bitter. But they should always remember, what turned them into bitter is past, is gone, is dead, doesn't exist. And when that thing happened that made them bitter, they were a different person at a different time and different understanding and connection with the energy and their growth and development and mentality and the consciousness level. And that person is no longer now. The now of that person is no longer the one that was experiencing those nasty things that turned him into bitter. This person is totally new, is fresh. He has nothing to do and should not be carrying anything over from all those times that bad things were happening or uncomfortable things or things that turned him into asshole. Because neither then he needed to be an asshole, nor he is now. He is a different person. So he doesn't have to carry that information or that experience with him. And whatever experience and memory that he's carrying with him is non-existent, is dead. So it's not a threat to him. He doesn't have to react to it. So he can simply rely on that and understand that he's no longer that person. He's not in that situation, and he's wiser than before, and therefore he doesn't have to carry that mentality or behavior and become who he wishes to become. Muhammad says, sir, how can I go outside? Well, you open the door and go outside. I don't know what outside you're talking about. Outside of what? Are you stuck in a room? Is usually a handle, you can turn it down. Muhammad, stop fooling around. Hello, Ida. You're welcome, Raju. Dawn says, my coworker's in a toxic marriage with children. I want her to save the respect of her children and get out. How do I tell her that? Just like that. If you're a good friend and she also thinks it's a toxic relationship, because sometimes you may think it's a toxic relationship, but she is maybe okay with it. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't think it's toxic. However, if she's the one who's told you it's toxic marriage, then just tell her as you friendly, lovingly said and want to say to her. Just like that. Taylor says, that is some great... You're welcome. My pleasure. Dawn, good morning to you. She says, good morning, Dr. Mehran. Thank you. Remember, Dawn, thank you for the compliment and the honorary degree of doctorate. I'm not a doctor. My research and education, my education, university education is a different thing, and my research has been elaborate on the subject and training and so on, but I'm not a medical doctor. Popa says, aloha, Dr. M. Have a nice day. Aloha, dear. But again, remember, I'm not a doctor. Just call me Mehran. Or my last name. So are you in Hawaii, Popa? Aloha is one of my favorite words. Khalil, good morning, dear. Arthur says, do you believe that a clear mind may not be quite suitable for an artist and this wild artist expressions? No, clear mind can create everything that you want, regardless of how busy or how sophisticated or puzzling you want your art to be. Clear mind means that you can reflect exactly what you want to do and exactly how you envision it, how things are happening, and you will have clear information to actually put to work and bring to life what it is that you want to accomplish. So clear mind is a good thing. It has nothing to do with what you want to create. A clear mind can create whatever it is that you want to create better. And you'll have fun doing it. Yasmin. Yes, Yahima. Hello, dear. Good to see you too. Yeah, Popa. Aloha. Mahalo. So, have we run out of questions? Have we run out of questions, guys? Or have we answered all questions that came through? Good to see you too, Yahima, dear. I hope that you're having a good day and you had a good week and a wonderful week yet to come. Popa says, and the Native American how? Yeah, it's also a positive sounding word, yeah. Yes, it is actually. Represents peace. I don't know what it means, but whenever I heard it in the movies when I was a kid, always was a pleasant moment when you would hear the Native Americans would say how. Muhammad said, Sir, you're ignoring me and Mia. Yes, because you are actually doing it a little bit too much, and it's not for what we are here to do. So that's why I'm ignoring you, Muhammad. So, questions, guys? Questions? Where is my timekeeper? Prince, what is the time? Just making sure that we don't keep you here too long. Yes, I understand, Popa. Soothing, yes, I got it. Yes. Aloha, mahalo, how, these are all good words. Okay, so we have just about half an hour left. Prince asks, Sir, what is your take on other breakup experts who promote how to get your ex back? Well, everybody has their own agenda and their own way of presenting or trying to help people, maybe, and that is what they think it's of interest to some people. But I personally do not think that it is time well spent to trying to get your ex back more than you have already tried. Obviously, when someone is going through hardship, will be trying to get the ex back, will be trying to make changes and discussions, explore it together and find out what things are missing, what things could be done. Having tried all those things and not worked, then breakup happens. When a breakup happens, it's not like they didn't try. Maybe some didn't try. They just find somebody else, or they just, take off. But in most cases, breakup doesn't just happen. It's been in the works, and they have recognized it, they have discussed it. If they've been wise and cared about their relationship, they've been discussed it, explored it together, tried in each one of them, or both of them. And at least one of them would try more than the other one. So this trying business to get the ex back has already been done. But trying to force it by tricks and some kind of creating and encouraging yourself and creating atmosphere and so on, these are not natural, because everybody is trying to get their ex back on physical basis, because that's what they're trying. Otherwise, you can't get bonding on a consciousness level without really actually being involved in understanding each other's consciousnesses. And if you haven't, and if you don't understand that, then trying to X back with some gifts and tricks and texts and buzzwords and encouragements or enticements and all that, just another day or two or few days, and again, the core and the roots of the problem hasn't been solved, and that is the understanding of each other's consciousness, each other's norm, each other's orders, why these things happens, what are the bases of it, what are the differences, what are the conflicts. The contents of the consciousness are different in each person, and these are the reasons that they actually don't understand, don't communicate well. It's not about how good you look. You look the same as yesterday, just as good looking, but today she doesn't like you or he doesn't like her. These are not because the looks have changed. These are not because their sexual intimacy has become, ran its course. Well, if it has, that means the relationship was only based on physical intimacy and physical attraction, and therefore there was no roots or no bonding on consciousness level, and that is what keeps a relationship together. So trying to get the X back by all these little things, it's not for a long haul. That's why when people have tried and made efforts to keep the relationship together and bring it to health, and if it hasn't worked, they should go on and don't try to keep making the same mistake. Yahima says, how to say what bothers you to a new love without making them feel you are nagging. Well, there are two ways. There are two things involved when you want to say something. One is the content of what you're saying. One is the way, the form, the content and the form. Always remember that. Sometimes you may say something that has got a beautiful content and is very meaningful and logical, but the way, the form that you deliver it, say it, it's so maybe obnoxious or not caring or not kind, or it just doesn't sit well on that person. Or sometimes the content is really not much, but the way it's presented is so lovely and so heartfelt and so wonderful and pleasant that it actually is accepted, even though the content is not much. It's like having a beautiful dish, a food, well prepared, good quality, but delivered on a dirty tray or plate. It takes away from the wonderful content. And yet sometimes it's not really that delicious food, but it's delivered in such beautiful content that the person actually enjoys eating it because of the whole environment of it. So you need to understand that, and gently and friendly ways, in a good tone, in a friendly and exploring way, not a condescending way, not antagonizing way, not, as you said, nagging way. Just share your opinion, and then that would be a good conversation. As a conversation rather than as a decree, as what you want to gain or say. Discuss it rather than say it, tell it. Raju, please share experience to become father first time. That's not an experience to talk about. That's an experience to feel. And if you have become a father for the first time, you can feel amazing. That newborn, that life that is entrusted in your hand, you're responsible for that, to make sure it develops right, to make sure you be kind and loving to him or her. There's a lot to say. It's a very emotional subject. Prince says, yes sir, those are one of the things they promote. Buzzwords, no contact rule, etc. And yet a lot of people still want that. They want it because they actually, we discussed it in over 400 videos that I have on the YouTube channel. They want it for the reasons other than the fact that it's really necessary for them. It's because they feel they've lost something. And we're all conditioned to feel more. And if we have something, we feel more. If we lose it, automatically we feel less. So they fight for that, to turn the less to more again by getting that person. But really, the relationship is not working. It's not compatible. But they feel that they got to have it because they don't want anybody else to have it. Often, the boys, when they lose their girlfriend, or the girls, when they lose their boyfriend, they don't even want that person. But the thought of somebody else having her or having him is what really fuels them to go and want her back or want him back. So their anger and discomfort is not necessarily because they've lost that relationship. It's the fact that they don't want somebody else to feel, or they would feel, because somebody else is with their partner, now they feel less and they feel inferior to another person having what they used to have. So it's just a childish, it's like a toy. It's psychological, it's not really real. Just move on and find another, relationship and enjoy and bond on that level. It's a long conversation, but all the reasons for why you feel the way you feel after a breakup is in the YouTube videos, over 400, you know that. And there's so many of them. Just go in and, put in, breakup pain or something like that. You'll see so many coming on the search box. Popa says, sir, what exactly is your area of experience, expertise? I missed that a few times. You responded to this question that I'm sure you get asked a lot. Well, my education is in university was not psychology, but I have extensive training in meditation and relationship between mind and body, and relationship between our energy and the universal energy, nature's energy, and understanding that, developing that. And then many years I researched extensively on the relationship between thoughts and consciousness, fears, desires, and ego, how they interact with each other, how they actually play a role in how we feel, how we think, and so on and so forth. And from then, of course, I use that knowledge in the forum of the breakups and heartbreaks and so on, so I can deliver it in a way that is understood by people who are going through a certain kind of an experience and hardship, so they can relate to it. Otherwise, the subject may not be as palatable to everyone if it's just delivered directly without any catalyst. So I'm using the relationship and the breakup and the thoughts and problems that it goes through, the feelings that they go through it, as a catalyst in order to deliver the real message and knowledge that I want to share, which is about how our thoughts are born, what is consciousness, what is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness, what is fear, how is it born, how does it take place, what is desire, how does desire come to be, and what is its relationship with ego, and all of that as a whole subject to be discussed, so we can learn about ourselves, how we function, how we react and act to things and to the matters of life, and how we negotiate the happenings of life in this short journey. And in fact, it would help us to become more equipped to deal with what we may be facing every day. Arthur says, what do you think about embracing both the positive and negative energy instead of trying to surround yourself only with the positive? And do you think that such a word could exist, a world only with the positive side in the universe of contrast and balance? Well, you know that you can't just choose to say, okay, I just want to be with positive, or I just want to be. the negative is part of the balance. It's there, whether you want it or not. We don't want it. We always try to navigate our way through this maze of life and have a propensity to what we like. And most of us like positive things, tranquil things, kind things, good things, helpful things, to be of service, to receive service, to be good, to help, and not to be harmful and not to be harmed. So we have this propensity toward that, but the negative is on the way. It's like saying I want to go to an orchard and I just want to see roses. But even when you go in a rose garden that only has roses, there are thorns on the actual stem. So it is a combination of a balanced world that you need to navigate your way and shun the negative and go toward the positive to learn and create that atmosphere where you can learn better and enjoy life in a better quality. So it is not that we can never have a world that is all positive while we want that, but we are living in a relative world. We're not living in an absolute universe. In an absolute universe, everything is the way you want it to be and it's supposed to be. But this is a relative world. There's darkness, there's sunshine. There's hunger, there's, tummy full, more full than it's needed. There's poor, there's rich. There is health and there is illness. It's unfortunate, of course, everybody wants that absolute universe, but this is the world we live in. So we got to negotiate with this. Sometimes we get what we want, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have what we want, sometimes we don't. Just as we're comfortable here and enjoying, there are people around the world that are actually being killed and abused and used, and they're unsafe and they're cold and they're sick and there's no food or medicine, and there are atrocities and there are all kinds of problems created for people around the world, and occupations, unfairness, and all these things is part of this negative world. There are negative and evil people, evil deals and doings everywhere. But it is up to us to figure it out, smart enough to wear off and not be involved or in connection with the negative forces and create a clear path for what we are trying to achieve, which is supposed to be in the way of learning, experiencing, being positive and helpful to the humanity, and so on and so forth, to help the universe as a whole to become a better place for everyone, not just for ourselves. Dominic says, okay, Ashkan says, how to know if someone is your soulmate? Well, you haven't, not you, but one hasn't even spent enough time with oneself to exactly know how we tick. And yet, everybody expects to find their soulmate. Let's first find out, what is it that we are all about? How are we put together? What is our consciousness means? What are our thoughts coming from? How do they form? How do we deal with our fears, desires, and ego? When we understand all this, then we begin to understand how the other person is put together, because it's put together in similar ways, and then yet different. Why? Because the content of the consciousness is formed through the interactions and the things that we've been exposed to and seen and been treated with, the religion we come from, the background, the traditions, the customs, the teachers we experienced, the classroom, the books, the news, the things that we read, the things that we saw, the siblings, the parents, and the culture, and all these taboos, the dogmas, and everything else that has created the content of our consciousness, which our thoughts comes from it, from the field of the known. This field of the consciousness is where every thought that we have is actually generated and born from it. And when we know how this happens in us and what are the forces at work that have created this, how we are, then we begin to understand what are the ways to try to find something more compatible to ourselves based on the consciousness level and the content of their consciousness, and then see how it is compatible with us, and perhaps that would have a better chance to be called a soulmate. Otherwise, it's not a magical thing. Oh, that's my soulmate. Why? Because I love her so much. Well, you're programmed for procreation. You love anything that is to your standards and seems beautiful to you. And that is not supposed to mean that she's your soulmate. It's your program for procreation, your attraction, and your infatuation. And, that's how we're built. But that doesn't mean that it's so. Why? Because, a few years later, a few months later, you see that it didn't work out. You guys broke up. Why? Because the soulmate is not just a physical attraction that you think, I'm infatuated, so that's my soulmate. Oh, she agrees with everything I say. Oh, she understands everything I say. These are good, but not necessarily a complete way that you will have a better chance to call it a soulmate. Is only when you bond on consciousness level and you guys work things together and create an order which is mutually acceptable and workable. Because as you know, when you're single, you have a different order. When you are in a relationship, your order interferes with the order of the other person, and the other person's order interferes with your order. And therefore, it takes a while for you guys to actually combine the two orders and come to a compromise and a certain way of routine and doing things in life. And that becomes the harmonized order. And when you break up, that order is now your order. It breaks up, and then you go back and see differences between what it was and, again, a new order that you need to establish. And these are what things you go through. And if you understand all that, then you'll be able to be more capable on picking out the right partner, and hopefully then you can work toward making each other's soulmate. Ashkan says, what is tabe ishq? Can someone get fever from love and become physically ill? Tabe ishq is basically infatuation with someone that you're so feeling helpless because your desires are so strong. You want that intimacy and you want that person, and you go through a temper tantrum. When you're a child, you want a toy, you go through a temper tantrum. When you're older, you become depressed and sit around and just feel, excited and anxiety. But really, there is no fever for love. It's just an excitement of it, that you feel anxious, and of course the body heat will go up and you think you have a fever. But it's a reaction to your desire for that person, that girl, or that, whatever your relationship is, and that your intimacy, and that excitement, of course, generates heat, but nothing more than that. It's not an illness. Popa says, I see and understand. Thank you for the elaborate response. You're welcome. Ashkan says, okay, we did that. And tabe ishq is a Persian word, means love fever. Fever for love. Love heat, love fever. Okay, good. Okay, guys, now, my timekeeper, Prince, could you kindly let me know what time it is? I think it is time for us to end our exploration of the day and get set for the new week. And remember, guys, please do check my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and see, you have a chance there to read the sample chapter of each one of my books. And there is a seminar I did for a local university a year ago. It's about the end of fear. It was for purchase on the site, but I have made it free now on YouTube. You can go and search End of Fear, and the whole seminar comes in. It's about an hour, and it's very interesting how thoughts and fear are connected, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, you can have the chance to see the possibility of Skype consultation, which I do that on a daily basis worldwide with people around the world, with what's on their mind, what's concerning them regarding their thoughts, consciousness, fears, desire, and ego, and relationships or breakups, what they go through and how to move on, and how to deal with what they're feeling at the moment, and so on. And that is also available, so you go there and you can book an appointment. We can do a Skype one-on-one. And of course, please do go on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, author and books, both of them are mine. but you will see the posts of the events and the live talks or streaming on YouTube possibly that I'm planning on doing, and the information is there. And there are good positive posts that helps you out too. And sometimes I put a new video up there just for you to enjoy it on the Facebook page. And also, don't forget to go on YouTube channel, and there are over 400 and so on long and short videos about different subjects. You search them, and hopefully that will be helpful to you. Again, I want to thank Witty Feet people for their kind facilitation of this get-together for us every week. And hope that you will have a wonderful week to come, and take care of yourself and the others, and be good to yourself and to the others. And love you all. Thank you for being here, and talk to you guys next Saturday on my own Facebook page, or next Sunday right here on the Amazing Things in the World. And thank you again for being here. Bye for now. Take care now.